Hey everyone, and welcome to Chapter 3, all about graphing. So we're going to be drawing lots of pictures in this chapter. It's going to be super exciting. But first, we're going to have to talk about the coordinate system. So a lot of times in cities we use grids to map out the streets and do city planning. The idea here is very similar to that when we're talking about a coordinate system in mathematics. So let's take a look. What we are going to be focusing on is called the rectangular coordinate system, also known as the Cartesian coordinate system. And it's defined by two perpendicular lines, which we call axes. These two lines intersect at exactly one point, and the sole intersection point of the axes is called the origin. Every point in the two-dimensional plane that you span with these axes is described relative to the origin and axes. So this description uses an ordered pair, which we'll talk about in a sec, called the coordinates of the point, and they tell us how far and in what direction do you have to travel from the origin to reach a particular point. Oftentimes we portray one axis as running completely horizontal from left to right. Just by convention, we usually call this the x-axis. The other axis runs vertically from bottom to top, and we usually refer to that as the y-axis. So here's our x-axis. It's a line going from left to right. The arrow is indicating in which direction is positive. Same for the y-axis, going from bottom to top. The arrow is indicating the direction that is positive. The arrow is indicating the direction that is positive. And like I said before, these two lines intersect at one point called the origin. And we represent points in the plane with this ordered pair system. These are real numbers that describe a point. The first coordinate, x, tells us how far to the left or right, according to the x-axis, we have to travel. So you are traveling left if x is a negative real number, and you're traveling to the right if x is positive. Similar for y, except up is the positive y direction, as shown on the axes, and down is the negative direction. Let's look at some examples. So here we have the point 3, 2. What I want to do is graph this ordered pair on my, I guess, graph paper in a manner of speaking. All right, so that 3, what does that represent? That means I'm going to the right from the origin, 3 units. And the 2 means that I am going up exactly 2 units. So to graph that, we're going to start at the origin. Then I'm going to go right 3 units. So I'm here. And I'm also going to go up 2 units from the origin. To figure out where the point goes, I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to draw a line at each of these markers on the axes. And my point goes where those two lines intersect with each other. All right, another example. Here we have negative 8, 5. So the negative 8 here, since it's negative, means I am going to be left 8 units. And the 5 is positive, so again, I'm going up 5 units. So starting at the origin, I want to move left 8 units. So I'm here. And also from the origin, I want to move up 5 units. So we can draw a horizontal line that meets the y-axis at exactly 5 units up. And we can make a vertical line for the x-coordinate, and where those two guys meet is my point, -8, 5. So that's not too bad. You're going to be doing a lot of that over the course of this chapter, so it's good to get some practice. The last thing that I want to talk about is this idea of quadrants. So you can see that the axis kind of splits this plane into 4 different pieces. And they're all numbered. So basically what we do is we count, starting in the top right where both variables are positive. And then what we do is count in the counterclockwise direction. So if you're having trouble remembering what that means, right, think about which way clocks go. They go that way. So counterclockwise would be the opposite direction. And that means that the next number is going clockwise 2. So the second quadrant is in the top left. Go to the next one, again, counterclockwise. And again, there are the quadrants 1 through 4. This is the standard way of labeling them. There's not really any particular reason why you couldn't just go the opposite direction and label them differently, although it wouldn't be standard to do that. So the agreed upon thing is that going in a counterclockwise direction is always considered to be the positive direction. And that's all for this video. Next up, we're going to be looking at linear equations and how to graph them.